Hot on the heels of a massive price hike in the United States, retailers in other countries are slashing prices on Xbox consoles. Welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news show brave enough to wonder if Xbox has just written off this generation of consoles entirely.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we're on the eve of more Xbox hardware, ostensibly. You can see it back there. Also, I'm on location here in Tokyo at TGS, so hopefully I can get some inside scoops.
That's right. Eagle-eyed Reset Era poster Kubev noticed that retailer Costco had completely removed all Xbox products from its online store last week.
Yeah, that's concerning. Any search for Xbox on the wholesaler's website returns no results at all. That's for, consoles, for games, for accessories, anything. All Xbox is just gone.
Jeez, man. Furthermore, the Xbox section has been removed from the store's directory, so it looks like they're probably not going to sell another Xbox.
Yeah, or they've sold all that they feel like selling. Yeah, it's tempting to link this to the recent price hikes, but this post on Reddit actually noticed that Xbox disappeared from Costco a month ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, and people just picked it up now. Elsewhere in the Reset Era thread, poster Catchphrase noticed that the Xbox section is still on the Canadian Costco website, but all it contains is F125 and an Xbox headset.
Gosh, just whatever's left over in the back of the warehouse, I guess. And this gets even stranger. The website seems to redirect all Xbox searches to a fixed landing page that isn't there. So this I kind of noticed when I was copying and pasting URLs for the story. Usually when you enter a search term, basically you get like a script with a search term on the end of it. But if you search for anything Xbox, it takes you to xbox.html. And that page just says there's nothing here.
What the fuck? Maybe Xbox is coordinating with the retailer to create a landing page for the thing that is right behind Lawrence, the ROG Xbox Ally, comes out on October 16th.
Yeah, that's the positive spin. The possibly and more likely explanation is that console sales for Xbox have just completely flatlined, and the retailer decided not to order a restock after selling their existing inventory.
That maybe sounds a little more likely, but maybe they'll sell the ROG Xbox Ally. I don't know. Who knows? The latter possibility seems reinforced by this post on Reddit from Akbarak, showing that Costco New Zealand has slashed the price of the Xbox Series X console nearly in half. So they're trying to get rid of these as fast as possible.
Yeah, which actually makes it a pretty good deal. A Series X and Game Pass for that price, not bad, not bad. But deep discounts like that could definitely indicate that Costco is clearing inventory to make room for something else. Either this thing right behind me or another product that sells instead of just sitting on shelves.
Maybe like a PlayStation. Xbox has confirmed they are producing a next generation console. In the past, they said they were going to make another one after the Series X, with the latest report from back in March suggesting a 2027 release date.
Yeah, that report also accurately predicted the Xbox handheld launching later in 2025, which it is. So there's reason to believe that the rest of those plans were accurate at that time. But like we said, that was back in March and things changed.
Yeah, here's one last kind of weird bit regarding the Xbox and retail. The ROG Xbox Ally launches in about 3 weeks, and they still have not announced an official price or a pre-order date. Now, Lawrence may be on location for that price when they announce it.
Yeah, TGS would be kind of a strange place to announce that, but it could be. I feel like most of the announcements have happened by now, though. So today at TGS is the business day, and usually you get all your PR out of the way so that then you can talk to your business partners and all the information's out there in the open. So I think if they were going to announce it, they would have done so already. But then again, that should have been the case for this like 2 months ago. Yeah, this is bizarre. And I don't know if you can, macroeconomic conditions and all that shit, but I'm not sure what's going on with this piece of hardware.
A lot of people are not. The standard model is rumored to retail for $550, which would make it cheaper than any of the Series X consoles right now on the market, since they've all increased their prices. And then the more expensive ROG Xbox Ally X, I believe, is rumored to be $900.
God, yeah, that is also more expensive than all the Series X consoles, even after all the price increases. So who knows where we're going with that. We have reached out to Xbox for a comment on this. They're on site, so hopefully I can track them down. They didn't get back to me with a comment before we recorded.
Hey, Lawrence here with a quick update. We actually got a response from Xbox here. This is from a Microsoft spokesperson. They replied, Xbox products are available in the US at Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, Target, Walmart, and a variety of other local retailers, as well as on Xbox.com, ensuring players have multiple options to shop. Doesn't acknowledge the issue at hand, does it? But their message is, there's still places to buy Xbox products, even if they're not directly commenting on why they're not in Costco anymore. So there it is.
Oh, that's exciting. Lawrence flew all the way to Tokyo just so he could bother those Xbox people and get the price of that ROG Xbox Ally.
That's right. They can't ignore me, even if I'm not allowed in the show today. It's business day. Influencers get in tomorrow. So this is as close as I can get for now. I don't know. I like hardware. I like pricey stuff, but this is it's kind of worrisome. I'm also kind of nostalgic for the traditional format of boxed consoles, but it seems like Xbox really is moving away from that. I think their partnership with Asus for the ROG Xbox Ally is a strong indicator of that. Also, their willingness to open up their software footprint for other stores. We're seeing that on the Xbox app on Windows now. So this is kind of percolating. It's kind of combining into a certain vision of where they're at right now, and I think where they want to go. This is all just theoretical, obviously, at this point, but it almost feels like Xbox is kind of considering the series generation a wash at this point. You know, they have the sales data, they see the trajectories, they know that this is not going to be the hardware platform that gets them to the kind of profits that they need. So they just kind of let that relationship shrivel up. They stop stocking retail stores because they have a new piece of hardware to promote. And the promotion has been pretty big, actually. This is just based on their promotional footprint at Gamescom and now TGS, but they have branding everywhere. So that seems like they're putting a fair amount of promotion behind this piece of hardware, whereas it's kind of easy to see that maybe they're letting the series generation just sort of do what it does. Same with the price increases. Maybe they've decided that they're not going to try to sell retailers on what they've already got. They're just going to tell retailers to raise the price on what they've already got in their warehouses and make whatever money they can off of that. I'm not sure. The long-term vision that I can see for this, which would also maybe explain why they're not too worried about moving traditional consoles, is maybe they are just opening up the Xbox platform to, I guess the traditional format would be the OEM manufacturer. So partners like Asus or other hardware manufacturers in the PC space can basically go to Xbox, license the brand, make an Xbox approved piece of hardware and sell it in a retail store. So Microsoft doesn't have to worry about that part of it anymore. They become a service partner instead of a hardware manufacturer first. Now they have said they're making a new console, and I don't think they'll stop that because, you know, I'm not the hugest gadget guy. It's a pretty expensive hobby to be in. But most of the Microsoft produced hardware is pretty good, pretty high quality, so I don't want them to stop. But everything about them's been going more PC. I can see their hardware platforms doing that too, which is sort of the vision of the Steam box 1 billion years ago, if anyone remembers that. Valve was going to partner with hardware manufacturers to make PCs that would ship with Steam OS. So you drop it into your living room, plug it into your TV, and it would have a console-like experience, but accessing the PC ecosystem. There wasn't much of a market for it, you know, in the early to mid 2010s, but the PC scene is way different now. And I could see Microsoft weirdly being the one to make that model work, where you have a whole range of products that all access the Xbox/PC ecosystem, and then customers get to decide. The problem is at retail, that gets really confusing. Xbox is already, we're kind of confusing. What's a Series S? What's a Series X? It's going to get even worse when PC manufacturers that love to put all kinds of arcane numbers and letters and codes into their product names, if that's what people have to walk into a store and look at, I think they'll just take the PlayStation. That's easy, right? It's just one box, one price. But this may be more for the enthusiasts, and they seem to be chasing a different market, which is smart.
Man, I really like that theory of the Steam box OEM hardware manufacturer where they're just letting other, Asus and MSI and all that make other Xboxes. But let me be even more conspiratorial, Lawrence. Let me go even further down the rabbit hole, because we've been saying for the longest time on this show that the reason they're raising the prices on the Xbox Series X is because they're trying to push people away from the console. I think they're pushing people to the handheld. This handheld now, this is a crazy theory, but imagine that this handheld comes out now in 2025, right? They see how it sells, maybe it does gangbusters, and then their new console in 2027 is a handheld. Imagine it's like the Switch. Imagine this, they've decided that they're just going to go full Switch, and they're going to go, hey, our newest console is not a box at all. It is basically the Nintendo Switch, but it's an Xbox. It's got Steam on it. You dock it. You can play anything you want on the TV, or you could take it with you handheld. They basically just copied the Nintendo Switch's model. and then do that in 2027. So I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of what my theory is. I really do think that they are raising the price to push people away from the box to the handheld. And now, in terms of tariffs and in terms of what the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, can absorb for losses, they're still trying to figure out the price because they have no idea. The tariffs, it's throwing everything into disarray. No one knows because they don't know what Donald Trump will do next week. So they're trying to price it aggressively, but also I'm sure they're at a loss. So this is a really interesting time for them, and I'm really excited to find out what they are actually going to sell it for.
Yeah, I would like for them to be so motivated about this piece of hardware, and I think specifically the more PC market, that they're willing to take a hit on this and get it into people's hands cheap. If they can match or even come close to the Steam Deck price, that would be awesome. Especially, we don't really know what the performance is yet. We haven't seen any reviews. But yeah, if it can, like, it'll probably be beefier than a Series S. So if you're looking at Xbox hardware or Xbox branded hardware, for $100 extra, you can get a machine that performs better and also accesses cheaper games and games that are not even on the Xbox ecosystem. That's a pretty powerful selling point. The irony is that I remember one of the things people were frustrated about the ROG Xbox Ally was that it didn't play traditional Xbox console games. But I think accessing the wider PC ecosystem right now is a much bigger win than being able to play Fusion Frenzy or Voodoo Vince on a handheld, which you can still kind of do if you know what you're doing. So really interesting place. But yeah, I think you're right, Bruce. I think tariffs plus, Xbox burned money on the Activision acquisition. I see Call of Duty up there now too. So I think they've lost their appetite to burn money for market share. But maybe, I don't know, maybe Phil sent the right email, wined and dined the right Xbox executive, one last hurrah, who knows? But I would like to see that. I just want the PC ecosystem to spread around, and I want people to get better and cheaper games, and this is a good way to do it.
Yeah, this is the way everyone's going to be playing Mega Bonk on their $550 Xbox ROG Xbox Ally, because Lawrence is right. There are so many more PC games on Steam, and if they've got Steam on that thing, just bang bang boom, you're gone. It's great. I'm very excited.
Yeah, Bruce, thank you for recommending Mega Bonk, by the way. Played that on the plane, had an awesome time. Also watched Mission Impossible, really weird movie, but man, that submarine section was cool.
It was a great scene. Thank you again to our patrons for supporting the Inside Games Patreon. We got a Mad Hatter 97, Red N003, and Brandon Wilson.
Yes, and I got a few more to thank. Jared, Zach DeHack, and Buck. Really appreciate you guys turning out and supporting the show. Yeah, times have been a little rocky on YouTube, which makes us appreciate this direct support more than ever. And I'm gonna scrounge up all kinds of TGS secrets for you guys and make it worth it. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Inside Games.